Today I fucked up by calling a family's recently deceased son a FC King moron. I didn't realize how long this story is until I typed it out, so sorry for the long read. For context, I'm a mailman who works out of the Midwest. I don't have to tell my fellow carriers in this area that the past 3 months have been rough. Not only has my city had snow for 3 weeks straight now, but Christmas package volume hasn't gone down very much. I've been working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday for these 3 months, just trying to keep up with the volume. It's also been very cold, and all around I've been extremely stressed out and tired. Well, yesterday was no different, as I was told first thing in the morning that I had 2 routes I had to get done on my own, plus any extra packages when I got back. Not only that, but my ProMaster, a bigger mail truck, had been taken on Sunday for maintenance and I'd have to take a much smaller Metris car. This means I'll have much less space for all the mail and packages, but Metris cannot drive through any amount of snow. Not joking, a light dusting on the road will result in you getting stuck. So I was already tired and very frustrated. Fast forward to halfway through my day, and I'm delivering packages to a nicer neighborhood. I see the house that I'm dropping a package at doesn't have any open spots to park on the street, except for in front of their neighbor's fairly long driveway. It's not uncommon for us carriers to block a driveway for a minute to just drop off a package, so I don't think anything of it. Well, I couldn't see the end of the driveway due to the other cars, and as I turned to park I realized that at the end of their driveway is a pretty large pile of snow. I tried to brake and turn, but it was too late. I land right in the middle of this snow pile, completely stuck. I try in vain to get myself out, but for safety reasons we aren't allowed to dig ourselves out. So I had to call the office to get a tow truck, which I'm told may take an hour to get there. This means I'll have to stay an extra hour to get the rest of the packages delivered. Pretty obviously, I'm absolutely livid at this point, cursing up a storm in my car. Well, down the driveway comes a man who doesn't look very happy. He throws up his arms in that "WTF are you doing?" pose, which just makes me more mad. I get out and snap him a "Can I help you?" He snaps back at me with a "What are you doing blocking my driveway?" This is where I fucked up. I'm usually very calm and polite with customers, no matter how rude they're to me. But today I just couldn't control myself, and I say, well, it looks like someone was too lazy to shovel the snow on their driveway into their yard, and instead piled it in the street. The man gets red in the face and looks like he's going to scream at me, but takes a deep breath and says, "My son shoveled this for me." Without even thinking about respond, "Well, your son is a fucking moron." I again expect him to yell at me, which in hindsight is exactly what I wanted him to do. Instead he stumbles back like I struck him, and I see tears start to pour from his eyes. He immediately turns and half runs up the driveway, and I can see he's sobbing. I instantly feel confused and extremely guilty, because mailman or not there was no reason for me to speak to him that way. So pretty quickly I follow him up the driveway, where I see their cars parked. On both of the back windshields is a sticker of a boy, with text on top and bottom that says, using a fake name, "Rip Riley, we'll miss you. 2008-2025. I feel like I was slapped in the face. Their child had passed 2 weeks ago. I walk to their door in a daze and knock. Both parents answer, a mix of fury and anguish on their faces. That's when the stress and exhaustion from the past 3 months and the intense guilt I was feeling hit me like a brick wall. I dropped to my knees and began to cry, trying to tell them I was sorry in between sobs. To my astonishment, both parents dropped next to me, wrapped me in a hug, and started to cry with me. We stayed like that for a few minutes until I got my crying under control, and I told them why I was so angry and how sorry I was. The dad put his hand on my shoulder and told me he forgave me, which brought on more tears. We introduced ourselves and talked for a bit, but eventually I had to go wait for the tow truck in my car. But as I was waiting, they both came out with winter gear and snow shovels. They were offering to dig me out, which I vehemently refused. I told them I didn't at all deserve their help, but the mother told me, "I cleaned up my son's messes for 16 years because I'm his mother, that doesn't stop just because he passed," which caused me to cry even more. They eventually got me out, and I exchanged phone numbers with them and told them I'd invite them over for dinner later this week. They accepted, and now my wife and I are going to cook them a veritable feast this coming Saturday. Too long did not read. I fucked up by getting angry at a family's son for shoveling the snow in their driveway onto the street, not knowing he died a few days later. This was worth the read. Honestly, it's easy to lash back and forth in the heat of things, but sometimes just falling into a deeper level of understanding out of empathy, it really opens you up to important, impactful moments. Thanks for sharing. And now I am crying loudly crying. A mistake done when in a stressed day pales in comparison to the immensity of your soul in being able to sympathize and share your heart with them. You are a good and kind person op. Not everyone would think about the dad who went back home crying. You done good in the end, that is what matters. I don't think you FCKD up. What you've done is allow some release for you, and possibly the parents. Not what you would intend to do, but it sounds like it's healthy. My favorite part is that you realized your behavior was wrong, went to apologize, then realized their child had passed. You were going to say sorry regardless. Not faultless, but a good recovery. Good job, bud. Glad some good came out of it too, in that you will see them again. I think. These parents are friends of mine. They lost their 16-year-old son a few weeks ago. They are good people, it definitely sounds like them. It really struck me to read this story and have all the details match up. It's been so surreal watching them go through this. Today I fucked up by hissing at the goose. I am visiting my cousin and the neighbor's large farm goose has been hissing and following me. Auntie said this is normal because he is a guard goose and trying to protect his 3 wives from stranger. I hissed back and clapped hands in his direction. He responded by lowering his head and charging at me like torpedo. He was biting me and beating me with his wings. My limbs are different shades of red and blue and have tiny teeth and beak marks. Yes, gooses have teeth. And when he bite he twist his head left-right for more damage. He whipped me with wings and this hurt more and wings moved too fast to catch them. I tried to make him stop by grabbing his neck, but neck is long and he twist his neck to bite my finger and wouldn't let go. Under of my fingernail is turning dark like blood under skin. Other gooses screamed and celebrated. Aunt saved me and the goose returned to his wives and screamed like dinosaur to celebrate victory. TLDR. Hissed back at the goose, got beaten by the goose. Edit. I still love geese, one of his wives is cuddly and if you sit on the ground she will sit on your lap. I do not appreciate. Just kick it, advice, that doesn't even work and is unnecessary. He schooled you, I guess. I'm giggling at the idea of his wives celebrating his victory. There is either nothing here or just this link. Honestly, if my finances and mental health allow it, I would rather have a goose guarding my house than a dog. You can bribe dogs with treats, or if they are just soft-natured generally they might not kick up a fuss. Imagine you break into a living room, it's mostly dark inside save some light from the street, and all you see is a serpentine neck with a beak rise up, followed by hissing and honking and the inevitable mauling. I hiss and flap my arms at geese all the time, they always back down. You critically failed your intimidation check. Been there, done that. When I was a kid we had an old gander. My father would be doing chores around the barns and the gander would often try to sneak up behind him with its head down to attack, but my father would just reach down and grab his neck, just behind his head, and drag him around with him until he reached the barn gate. He would step through the gate, release the neck, close the gate and go on his way, leaving a furious gander in the barnyard. Guess who came through the barnyard a couple of minutes after one of these encounters? Yep, got the same treatment you got except I didn't even hiss at it. Lol it. Other gooses screamed and celebrated. Today I fucked up by underestimating how body fat plays into staying warm. Too long did not read. Lost weight and ever since then every slight breeze makes my teeth chatter and body shaky. 6 feet 2, male, 300 pounds 247 pounds. 17M. Growing up I was the fat kid who wore shorts in the winter with a beast mode t-shirt. All the other kids thought I was the weirdest in the special ed class. Constantly asked if I was freezing while I will smugly say, no I'm fine. The fact that it made my legs ashy did not help my case at all. I grew accustomed to dressing light in the cold or I'd sweat. Things happened and I went from 300 pounds to dropping at 247 pounds today. I can't even fucking celebrate because it's winter. It's the second time of my life I ever saw snow and the first time was in 2020. Normally I would be happy and while my family would be fighting for the AC I would be chillin', didn't even need to touch it. My greatest pride was saying, I would be the perfect roommate because other people's temperature preferences doesn't bother me. Now I am shaking, teeth shattering, my body barely responding to me in my bed and having to resort to using a heater like a mere peasant, while my stepdad's dog looks at me concerned. I literally asked no questions outside of seeing a one-off post about it and ignoring it. Will gaining enough muscle make up for what I lose and make me warm again? Because I would rather heat a metal rod until it glows, brighter than Jada Smith's forehead, and stick it so far up my ass and let it cauterize it shut than go through another damn winter of this bullshit. Is this what normal people go through? I never experienced cold in a smaller body before since it's only been a year and I'm an introvert. The last time was when I was very young and I was skinny because I was picky. Think 6'7" and only wanting American cheese slices and the skin of fried chicken because I hated the meat for some reason. Now I need to go shopping for clothes since everything I have isn't enough now. I have to pick clothes for functionality instead. Will this barely fit me? Edit. Side rant, I can't even go find my size because of all the, look at me buying all the oversized men's hoodies teehee. All look so cute, girls. I can't get anything higher than XL if I'm lucky. I'm 6 feet 2, I need these more than a 5 feet 7 girl. I can't be rocking a crop top trying to fit into small clothes. So stay out of giant grocery section before I start taking eyeliners and nail polish removers out of your aisles. Next will be the facial sensors and heels. Don't test me because I will rock them with prep time. Wear a winter hat. Helps a lot. Seriously, check if you are diabetic, usually you will lose fat quickly and circulation will be bad. Let me be the very first to wish you a cold congratulations. I think the thing to focus on here is that shivering costs calories, so, silver lining? Edit. As a person whose body weight fluctuates between, get that dude a sandwich before he perishes before our very eyes, and, do you want to die of a heart attack before you're 40? Because this is how you die of a heart attack before you're 40 inches. I cannot recommend scarves enough. I don't know if muscles work in this case, but thermals certainly do. The key is to wear multiple layers. At that weight I'm not sure if you'd really feel that different about temperatures. I went from 170 to 130 before and didn't have any issues. Not saying you're wrong, just saying it might be another medical cause. I'd at least look that up or mention it to a doctor to be safe. Nice job on the weight loss regardless. Sure, let's blame young women for stores' fat-phobic sizing decisions.